Case has been found guilty of murder in the High Court in Johannesburg, while the child's mother and the boyfriend have also been found guilty of child neglect. 3-year-old baby Daniel died in 2016 after being severely beaten and burned with boiling water. He had broken bones, severe bruises on his body and face, and also sustained some injuries to the head. Program Director at the Save the Children South Africa, Gugu Xaba, joins me now live from our studios in Pretoria. Says Gugu, good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for coming through. Let's get your reaction to the ruling on baby Daniel's case.
Good afternoon, Palisa, and good afternoon, South Africa. Save the Children's view in terms of baby Daniel is saying we appreciate the fact that the courts are now coming through in terms of trying and giving judgments on such cases, because communities at large have been educated in terms of child protection and what to do in order to protect children. And we've actually indicated that it is violating a child's rights to physically abuse them, to neglect them, to sexually abuse them, to put them in child labor. So Save the Children is saying communities in South Africa know about the rights of a child. And when a child's rights are being violated, then the courts must come through and make such decisions. So we do support the decision that the court has made. It's very difficult then for the other 3 children that need to be taken care of, which means the state needs to come through now and take care of these children, simply because the parents have to serve the sentences for what they have done.
Yeah. But how often, Sis Gugu, do you come across such cases where a mother is in a relationship and the mother witnesses the child being abused but just keeps quiet and not say anything about it?
Palisa, we right now as a country, for every 5 children, there is one of them is abused. And then that says, because again, we know that as a country, we have about 33% of children that are living with single parents. And in many instances, it means there will be another partner who is not the father of that particular child. So we do experience this a lot. Now, an example that is practical that we have as Save the Children, we've developed a violence against children app where we are asking children, parents, school teachers to report any form of violence that they experience. And the reporting rate in that app is very low. And people are saying, I don't want to be chastised by my peers if they hear that I reported, or my relatives, or the very partner that could have conducted the abuse. So we are appealing as Save the Children to people or communities out there to report any form of violence as it's occurring, because the country has put up a lot of prevention mechanisms, a lot of responses in order to take care of the child or the adult that is being abused. So if communities work with us by reporting, then the perpetrators of the violence will see that justice is being takes into action, and people face the consequences of their behavior. So I still appeal. There's a need for communities to understand that it's important to report, because Save the Children and government, social development will not know and will not be able to respond if the reports are not given.
Yeah, going back to the judgment, Sis Gugu, Judge Machitse was basically saying that the mother was responsible for not defending her son. And I think really this is what is heartbreaking about this entire case, because we know mothers to be very protective and caring to their children.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. We experience this, as I said, a lot. And in many instances, the women that are not reporting, that are not protecting their own children, will tell you that, look, the man that I live with is a breadwinner. And if I report on him, it would mean the next day I don't have food because I'm not working. So thus we are saying it's important that, 1, our communities are knowledgeable. 2, each and every individual in our community needs to be empowered with livelihood skills so that they can be able to take care of themselves and not depend on the other, because once one depends on the other, then even wrongdoing that is being done by the other is not going to be reported. And now who's the sufferer? Is the child who's innocent, who now becomes vulnerable to the two adults who are supposed to be taking care of them.
Yeah, but just putting the socioeconomic status of many women here in South Africa aside and focusing on the care and the love that mothers are supposed to have, can we rightfully say that it looks like we're developing a pattern in South Africa where mothers are not caring anymore? Let's just go back to what happened earlier this year where 4 children died in a shack fire, whereas mothers were out on a drinking spree. So it looks like now there is this pattern of mothers who are just not caring.
Yeah. Palisa, as a country, we do have moral degeneration, which for us, when we look at the case of children, we're looking at the fact that from way back, when a parent or an adult wants to give birth to a child, there's no planning. I mean, right now, as a country, there's about 60% or even less people that are using family planning. So we have a lot of unintended pregnancies. And I mean, if you look at baby Daniel, this is a 3-year-old child. Why should a person torture a 3-year-old person? It means this child was not even wanted by the mother themselves. And now, maybe because of the stress levels that mothers are experiencing, they are also at a point of saying, I didn't want this child, then this is how I'm going to respond. We have foster homes that are full of children, even after rehabilitation, even after finding the parents don't want to take the child back. So this says, as a country, we have high moral degeneration, and there's a need, and that is why Save the Children is talking about positive parenting, which includes things like you need to plan for your pregnancy so that when the child comes, you are ready and you understand what is expected of you as a parent to do in order to take care of that child, because you were part of the planning of bringing the child on earth. So there is a need for parents to understand the value of deciding to have a child. It's a huge responsibility.
There certainly is. Thank you so much for coming through. Gugu Xaba is the program director at Save the Children South Africa, of course, and that is the question of our day. What do you make of that particular judgment? We do know, of course, that sentencing is expected on the 21st of January 2019. Please talk to us at SAToday_SABC.